Man, I had two unboxing videos planned for this week, but I completely forgot the Video Game Award show is tomorrow. So I already know that's going to take up a lot of the news coverage for this week, at least within the gaming space. I decided to put together a small wish list of video games I hope to get announced tomorrow. And I will do a follow-up video to this after the show, because it's going to be like 2.5 to 3 hours long. I'm definitely not going to live stream it because YouTube will shut down my live stream if I restream that for sure. And I don't know if I want to do a 3-hour long reaction video. That's just too much, too long, especially when most of it is going to be either developers or voice actors or whatever going on stage and giving long speeches and musical bands going up there and playing songs. Yeah, I'd rather just knock that down to a 10 to 20 minute long video. So after the show tomorrow, I'll do a follow-up video to this talking about which announcements I was most excited for. So, alright, let's get to my wish list of games here. So, I hope From Software announces Sekiro 2, or Bloodborne 2, or a Bloodborne remastered. I know they're working hard on the DLC for Elden Ring, and Elden Ring was like probably one of my most favorite Souls games ever because it was like Zelda Breath of the Wild combined with Dark Souls. And I loved it. After Elden Ring, I wanted to take a break from Soulsborne games for a while. That's why I have not played Lies of P yet, even though that's not From Software. That's a different developer. But yeah, after Elden Ring, I was completely burnt out. I was like, okay, I played enough Souls games. I think I want to take a break for a while. But no, I'm ready for a Sekiro 2, or a Bloodborne 2, or a remastered version of the first game. At least with Sekiro 2, I hope they add some quality of life improvements to the upgrade system or the parry system, because you couldn't really upgrade your stats in the original game. You could upgrade your abilities of your weapons that you use, but you have to rely on skill. It was a very heavy skill-based game, with the whole parrying going on in that game. I would like to see gameplay for the Wolverine video game. Not CGI cinematic footage, no. I don't care how cool it's going to look. I want to see how this game is going to actually play and function. Now, if they show nothing more than a CGI cinematic cutscene or whatever, cinematic like trailer, I hope they show some dismemberment, because at least that will give people an idea that, okay, Wolverine get to dismember body parts in this game, much like Wolverine Origins, which was rated mature, I think? Yeah, it was rated mature. It was one of the most violent Wolverine games to ever exist. I think I still have it in my video game collection. I'm looking over my video game collection right now. It might be out of my line of sight. Let's see, I have X-Men Legends, X-Men Legends 2. No, those are for the OG Xbox. Wait a minute, X-Men Legends... Wait, what? What am I looking at? Yeah, that's the OG Xbox, okay. X-Men Origins Wolverine Xbox 360. Yeah, so I do still have it in my collection, okay. I just don't have a Xbox 360 anymore, unfortunately. I'll have to find a cheap one of these days so I could play all of my old games that I kept. I was hoping the Xbox Series X was backwards compatible with all of the old school 360 and old school Xbox games, but that's not the case here. It's backwards compatible with some games, but not all, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I would like to see gameplay of Wolverine by Insomniac, and hopefully it looks good. If they show a CGI, trailer, CGI cinematic trailer, I don't know how excited I'm going to be for that. But if they showed some dismemberment, at least they're giving us an idea that, okay, this Wolverine game is going to be violent and bloody. From Capcom, I would like to see Monster Hunter World 2, because You guys would not believe how many hours I dumped into the first Monster Hunter world. That was like pretty much my first, well, not my first Monster Hunter game, but it was the first one I really got serious about and actually sat down and devoted many hours to. Also, from Capcom, I hope they announce a Dino Crisis remake. We are long overdue for a Dino Crisis remake. A Dino Crisis remake should have come out years ago. It should have came out during the PS4 era. But now we're in the next gen era once again. This seems like the perfect time for them to release a remake for Dino Crisis. I don't really care for any more remakes of Resident Evil, except for maybe Resident Evil Code Veronica, because that could use a remake. They do not need to touch 5, 6, or... well, 7's pretty recent, right? 7 and Resident Evil Village, both of them are pretty recent, so they don't need to touch those. Code Veronica, sure. They need to remake that, but I want to see Dino Crisis 1 and 2 remake. Maybe not so much 3. 3 was a weird one, because it took place in the future, you're on a spaceship, and you fought this giant alien T-Rex for the boss. It was nuts, man. Also, again, from Capcom, I would like to see Marvel vs. Capcom 4 or Marvel vs. Capcom 2 remake. I would love a remake of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because it was like such a huge part of my teenage years during the 90s, because there was like no other fighting game like that, where we had so many characters from two different franchises from both Marvel and Capcom coming together in one game. It was bonkers. And you know, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 turned out to be a good hit, but when they came out with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, people started to look at that one differently, including me. I ended up skipping that one. I didn't buy it. I just watched other streamers playing it, and to me, something fell off about that one. Maybe it was the art style or the gameplay footage I was looking at, but it just did not... It just fell off to me. I just ended up not playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. But 3 I was cool with, and 2, of course, is what I grew up on and played a lot of during my teenage years into my adulthood. So I would love a remake of that. Or if they move on and finally they give us Marvel vs. Capcom 4 with an insane roster, that would be great. I mean, it's possible because now I think we're in the golden age of fighting games again, because we're getting Tekken 8 pretty soon. Street Fighter 6 just came out. What else just came out? The new Mortal Kombat just came out. So, you know, it's perfect time. Well, I mean, I was going to say it's a perfect time for Capcom to get back in the fighting game, but they already did that with Street Fighter 6. But it's a perfect time for them to come back again with more Marvel vs. Capcom action. I think a lot of fighting game fans are waiting for that. Alright, finally, I would like to see gameplay footage of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. I believe we got a small tease, a small cinematic trailer just teasing at something, but no actual gameplay. So I want to see gameplay, no cinematic footage. If they show cinematic footage, I'm not going to get hyped. I'm just not. No matter how cool it's going to look, I'm going to be like, okay, well, at least they know, at least they let us know it's coming, but I want to see what the game looks like. Alright, so how many of my wish list did I announce so far? About 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So I announced about 8 games. Out of those 8 games, I think only 3. 3 of them would get me really hyped. Bloodborne 2, Dino Crisis Remake, or a brand new Marvel vs. Capcom. Either 4 or a remake of 2. I'll take either one of those. But yeah, if they announce any of those tomorrow, I'm going to be very excited. I'm not going to be holding my breath, though, because usually when I try to predict something for the Video Game Awards, it never comes true. But, if you want to know who I think will win the Video Game Awards, I think it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3. Because I hear people talk about that game nonstop, and I think it's going to take the it's going to take the win. It's going to take the W over everything else. It's going to win over Spider-Man 2. It's going to win over Resident Evil 4 Remake. It's going to win over Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. All of those games I thoroughly enjoyed this year. And I have not even played Baldur's Gate 3 yet myself, but from what I'm hearing from other people, they cannot shut up about it, so I think it's safe to say that Baldur's Gate 3 might get Game of the Year, or might win Game of the Year awards tomorrow. But hopefully I will eventually get around to playing that game in 2024. It's just that, well, I'm in the middle of just catching up on so many games in my backlog, and it's kind of like, well, damn, so many new games just keep coming out while I'm trying to work on games in my backlog. It's kind of difficult to find balance here, but I'm trying. Alright guys, that's it. I will do a follow-up video to this after the show tomorrow. So it might be like late overnight. I might get, follow-up video uploaded, but just kind of put a hinder in my plans for this week, because I had two different unboxing videos for this week, and totally forgot that this show was going to air, or at least be live streamed to the world tomorrow, and I was like, well, yeah, that's something I got to talk about and do a video on, since I'm a gamer and also a collector of many things. Well, not many things. Just collectibles and video games and movies and such. That is my hobby for life. Alright, later. I'll see you guys tomorrow after the show. Peace.